Good morning, everybody. This is Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. I came out, it's still dark outside. I don't know, yeah, you can, I guess I have the door shut so you're not going to see anyway. But it was a dark walk over to the root cellar. It's pretty early in the morning. The roosters are starting to crow in the coop. Cowboy headed out to pick up the Amish guys. They will be here within the half hour. I am going to do an oven stew in my wood stove today for everybody, a big hearty meal. And so I had to come to my root cellar to do some shopping. I need some potatoes over in the corner. I need some carrots out of the wagon. I need some onions out of the tub down here. And I don't need my tomato from out here this time, as I've still got some from last year in the house in my pantry that I want to use up first. So get ready for the day. They'll be building again all day today. As you saw last night, our day yesterday was very productive, and those guys work fast. They're really throwing this shop together for Cowboy. It's a 40 by 50. And so, yeah, it's come along great. So I will be taking little clips throughout the day and putting them together again like I did last night, so you can follow along on the process and see what's happening and just see what life is like sometimes on a homestead. This is a big day for us because it's a big building project. It's going to be a big asset to our homestead. Cowboy is just one of those that needs to have that shop where he does a lot of his own repairs on things. And since we moved out here to the homestead a year and a half ago, he's been missing that. He still has one at the old place, but he's got to travel back and forth to be able to use it. It's just not convenient there. So this is going to help him out a whole lot, as well as we'll be putting on a room on the end eventually that will be, you know, like for our freezers, and we can have a countertop, and so it'll have a sink. We can either do canning in there maybe if he puts the stove, or just wrapping and butchering our own, you know, whether it be a deer or a small bull, which we are going to be doing soon on the homestead. But we don't want to tackle anything big for the two of us anymore. We used to do that, but for us now, we're not set up in the same position we were at that time, that we could take a big steer and cut and wrap and grind and whatnot. So a little smaller animal, we would go ahead and do that. So that will be fun to have, but that'll be a while down the road to have that room ready. But it's just going to be a big addition to our homestead. So follow along today. I will take little clips, I'll put them together, and we'll see you later. So I'm getting my carrots all washed, ready to peel, potatoes, and it won't be long we'll be throwing this big stew into the wood cook stove. We need to take a walk out and check on the wood stove. Make sure it's going good. Oh, I can feel the heat. It feels good after being out in the root cellar. I think we better put another log on. Keep it going hot. Love my old wood cook stove. I've had it 36, 38 years. It is our main heat. We use this all winter long as our main heat. We cook on it all winter, and it's a cozy heat, but it heats our whole house. So I better get that stew in the oven, and I'll be back soon. Well, the stew is ready to go in the oven. I'll put a foil on it. We need to put a little salt and pepper on the top. I've got some tomato juice. I've got some beef broth in there. Most of the meat is on the bottom, but this will start cooking in my oven. I'll put it down here, and hopefully it'll be done at noon. So here we go, Andrea. I'm mixing up your bread dough, and I'm going to cover it. I'm going to head out to feed the goats and the chickens. Before I finish doing any more to this, I might need to add just a little bit more flour. I know she said it needs to be, or it will be a little sticky. And I will leave it in the kettle, or in my bowl, for probably an hour and a half. The stew is in the oven. And hopefully these turn out really good to go with my stew. Okay, so I'm back. Putting extra wood into the cook stove. Our stew is in the oven down here. And I have my bowl of bread dough raising up here where it's nice and warm, so that I can make some fresh buns to go along with our oven stew. But for right now, I'm going to head out and feed the goats and the chickens, and I will be back in to wrap this meal up. Okay, you can see over there, the guys are busy. More rafters going up. We're looking into the sun, so it's a little hard to see right now, but the rafters are growing up, more sheeting's going up, and they're busy working. It's about 8:30, and they've been working a while. I came out to do the chickens and feed the goats, get them some water, the chickens water. My bread is raising. I mixed up a batch of buns. My stew is in the oven, so I think we're set for another day. So my buns are in the pan, and you can tell I'm not used to following directions, because I only put in, I believe, 2 teaspoons of yeast, and it should have been 4.5 teaspoons. But guess what? They are still raisin, and it's a nice, light, fluffy dough. So I'm thinking they're going to be okay, but I don't know what I was reading. It was pretty early this morning when I was mixing it up, and I know it said 2 packages, and I'm thinking 2 teaspoons, and that should be about 4.5 to a little more maybe yeast. But actually they're really nice soft dough. I think they're going to be light and fluffy anyway, so they're going to raise now for a while before I bake them. I'm going to check on the oven stew really soon. Okay, so I got my oven stew out to check it and stir through it. And I've got a lot of broth in there, a lot of tomato. I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper. But it's coming along nice. I think with the buns it's going to do really good. So I'm keeping this old stove going pretty hot today. And I'm hoping that roaster will feed them up good. It smells wonderful. Boy, those look good. I've kept the wrappers that I had taken off the butter because there's a little melted butter on them. And I'm just going to rub that over my buns. And I've always done that. And I guess it's because my mama did it. And I have another one for this pan. But folks, these look really good. And like I said earlier, I messed up. I only put 2 teaspoons of yeast in this. And these buns still really did great. So I'll take those out of the pan. We'll go over here and peek at my stew. It's done. I had a carrot and potato. They're completely done. The meat is going to slow cook now. I'm letting my stove cool down somewhat. It's really hot. I've got my screen door open, and I'm just trying to slow cook that now. Maybe we can get a peek out the window of the shop. Let me open the screen door. There we go. We're looking into the sun, so it's really hard to see. But I think our meal is ready. So here we are at the end of day 2 with the shop. They've even started putting the tin on this wall, and it's all wrapped. It looks like Monday they will probably be putting in the garage doors as well as keep tinning. But they did really good. They did a lot of work today. Cowboy took them home and we're done for the day. Thanks for joining us today, Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. I hope you've enjoyed following us along on this little building project. There'll be more to come next week.